KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Thank you all for joining us. Let's go to our friend Rachel Alexander from the Stream, get a little information nationally on what's going on. Of course, you can always catch her work at stream.org. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what do you make of the week that was? We've got possibly a new, we will have a Supreme Court, possibly another conservative, Rachel, on the Supreme Court.
Well, it's crazy because this is not just another conservative replacing a conservative who's leaving. This will be a conservative replacing the swing vote, the moderate. So this is unprecedented, for many years, at least in my lifetime that I remember, and it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be a brutal fight in the Senate.
What do you make of the tone of things lately?
The tone, overall, I would say the tone has just gotten very vicious towards President Trump between the media and the left, and the left calling for violence. And we've got, Maxine Waters now saying, you need to accost Trump supporters. It's gotten really uncivil.
Right. And, you go to Maxine Waters saying, look, we need to, harass people. Sarah Sanders trying to go somewhere. Stephen Miller, presidential advisor, they have him on a wanted poster. This is not the country we grew up in.
Well, whatever happened to civility and manners? I mean, I've of the William F. Buckley Jr. school of thought, which is, you treat your political opponent politely. You can best him in an argument, but, you don't use Saul Alinsky tactics against him. That's the left's modus operandi, apparently, and it just seems to be getting worse.
Right, and that's the thing that gets me is, when's it going to stop? And then you have people blaming Donald Trump for the shooting yesterday.
Well, and we're finding out it had nothing to do with politics. He was mad at the newspaper because he had filed a defamation lawsuit against him over something they wrote about him, and he lost his lawsuit.
Yeah. Crazy world that we live in. So let's just talk about a few things here at KIDO Talk Radio. Most notably, things that are being forced upon gender or sexual orientation, gender identity rules being forced onto lawyers. Aren't we confused enough as it is? Do we have to bring in the litigators?
Yeah, first it was the bakers, then it was the florists, and now they're going to force these kind of laws onto lawyers. And I'm a recovering attorney myself, and we were trying to stop this from being adopted by the Arizona State Bar for years, but they've already added the sexual orientation non-discrimination clause, and right now they're in a big fight to see whether they can add the gender identity clause.
So how would that work? How would that change things? In fact, it's odd, like in the state of Idaho and other states, you can put on your birth certificate, I guess, other. You don't have to identify as a gender anymore.
Well, it's kind of frightening how it could affect lawyers because there's so many different areas that you could, run afoul of it. For example, if you're a prosecutor and you refer to a transgender person by the wrong pronoun, you refer to him as a he instead of a she, as they want to be called, you could get disciplined now for that.
Well, what do you mean? And I'll tell you, I'm at, I don't know if you've ever heard of these fine dining places like McDonald's or Wendy's. I frequent them quite a bit, and I go, there's somebody that they actually put on there, they identify as whatever, and I was talking to a guy who thought he was a girl, and I go, okay, brother, but I say that to everybody. Now, could I be, charged with being, I guess, not sensitive enough to this person? I didn't, I'm at the pharmacy, and again, a guy who wants to be a girl, identifying as a girl, I go, okay, thanks, brother. I mean, he looked like a dude to me.
Yeah, if they can tie it to the legal profession somehow, then it applies. So, for example, if you're at a dinner with a bunch of other lawyers and, you misgender somebody like that, or there's all these other examples, like if you were to, say something critical about same-sex marriage, or if you were to, they even have socioeconomic status is being added. So if you were to say something critical about the 1%, around some other lawyers, you could be disciplined.
Boy, that sounds like George Orwell on steroids.
Yeah, I think our country's been going in that direction for years now, and it's terrifying. I mean, it makes me glad I'm not a lawyer, because at least us journalists don't have, this forced on us, at least not yet. Right.
The words out of our mouth, not yet. Rachel, anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Just check out the stream. My latest article coming out is going to be on who might replace Anthony Kennedy.
Well, can you give us a preview?
There's 5 front runners. One of them is a woman, and they're all on the Court of Appeals.
Are they all good?
So far, I haven't finished researching, but so far, based on the what I've done, and Trump has said he's going to put down a conservative, and they've got to be pro-life.
No more suitors.
No, or Kennedy's. Kennedy was supposed to be conservative, too.
Yeah, good point. All right, Rachel, at thestream.org, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Nampa. Our friend Joe Bell joining us at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Joe.
What's up, mi amigo? How's it going?
I am living the dream and trying to, as I say to everybody that sees me, still employed and desperately trying to justify my existence. And you?
Well, living the dream, you got to be in Nampa.
Exactly.
That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks for all your help at that Garden Country. We appreciate all you do, and you did a great job on just narrating. It was great.
Well, it was a privilege to be a part of the 52-year history of God and Country. And, those folks that run that organization, you just got to get out of their way. And, whether it's David Ferdinand or Mike or D. Sarton. I just said, if I could be the asparagus, I'll be very happy with that. But
well, thanks again, Kevin, for all you do. You make Nampa great, and it's just great radio.
Well, thank you, and we can't wait to do it again next year. We've got some advice. Next time, Joe, you need to come by and host the post-game show with me. It got a little tiring with myself and the international playboy Pat from Middleton.
Who we should bring into play on this is my wife. That little girl just, wow, yeah, she'd be great.
She likes to talk.
She'd be great. What's up?
Your wife likes to talk.
You know what? She's married to me. She can't get a word in edgewise. I mean, that's just how she works.
Well, she can definitely do that with us. That would be great.
Love it. Kevin, thanks again for all you do, and have a great weekend.
Joe, you as well. Be careful riding your bike around.
Yeah. I'm doing this 100-mile-a-week thing on my bike and just staying healthy, living the dream.
100 miles a week. Okay, quickly, how safe is it on the roads, and how careful do you have to be?
Well, there was a video game called Frogger. Remember that little video game?
Yes, sir.
And that's like bicycling in Nampa. But, bright colors, and just announce your place in the lane, and do a lot of praying, lots of praying.
Well, you have to be committed.
You come out and ride with us anytime, Kevin.
I will, Joe. Take care, brother.
All right, brother. See ya.
See ya. Bye-bye. Joe Bell. What a great man. An example of a gentleman that helped the city of Nampa, Canyon County, fight the feds and win. Someday we're going to have Joe Bell on this program to go over that whole idea. When people say you can't beat the federal government, he'll give you the story about that with Lake Lowell. Joining us now is, he's not the international playboy. I guess we'd call him the Sweet Prince because he's just sweet, the heartbreak kid of the Treasure Valley. Tea Party Bob on KIDO Talk Radio. What's up there, Heartbreaker?
I don't know what I'm going to do in an introduction like that.
No.
Have you recovered from God and Country yet?
Sadly, no.
I can imagine. That was a long, long day for you.
Yeah, you couple that with Boise Music Festival, and I'm still fighting this cold, but I drive on. And you?
Me, I'm just feeling happy and pleasant. And
you're having a happy day, huh?
It's a good day, yes. It's a good day when I can stand up and I'm vertical instead of horizontal.
Well, speak for yourself.
I want to make a little sense out of Trump and what he's doing when it comes to the deep state. You know, while everyone's up in arms about the FBI and the Justice Department, Trump continues to march forward, fixing the economy, reducing regulations, bringing new jobs in, solidifying foreign relationships. And we all know that Obama put his own people in the deep state positions and had 8 years to build up a network. That's going to take years to dismantle. Trump is now in the process of dismantling the network, and it is happening from the top down. The DOJ and the FBI are only the beginning, and discovering the hanky-panky that's been going on for the past 8 years is going to take a little time. You know, there's an old saying, a new broom sweeps clean, and Trump has a firm grip on the broom and on who the bad guys are, and we're going to see a lot of them taken out of their positions of power. This year, we're seeing about 40 members of Congress who are retiring because they see the broom coming their way, and they're jumping ship before they're voted out by the electorate.
Maybe the broom's coming your way.
Well, not yet, but, you know, I've done this stuff before. You know, Trump's a businessman, and what he's doing takes time. When a CEO comes into a company, the first thing he does is to make sure the business is operating efficiently and to weed out the top management problems while moving the company forward. Trump is in the later stages of this procedure. The second part is to replace the middle management that are not doing their jobs, hindering the success of the company, and will be the next part of the cleanup. And the third part is going to be to dismantle the organizations that fuel the so-called working class government employees, like the unions, and get rid of those redundant departments and excessive personnel. And the recent Supreme Court decision is going to help him make this possible, while the unions are not going to be able to have the money to fund a lot of their operations because employees are going to opt out of paying their dues. So the cleanup is going to take about 4 years. And I think everyone just needs to be a little bit patient. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Wait a minute. Come on. From you talking patience? This isn't Tea Party Bob.
Kevin, we have so many rats in the government.
This is Coffee Man Bill.
Even the Pied Piper Hamlin would have trouble getting all the rats out of Washington, let me tell you.
Man.
It's going to take a long time.
What's in your coffee?
Yeah. Well, I'm not drinking coffee anymore. I got off the coffee.
Maybe you need to get back
to herbal teas. No, it makes me too fidgety.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
You have yourself a wonderful day today, and just keep on going along, buddy. You're doing a great job.
You right back at you there, little buddy.
Take care, my friend.
All right, our great friend Tea Party Bob. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up next, let's get back to this issue involving guns, involving protecting yourself, and why does the media want to disarm America? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
Did you read it or did you not read it? I'll be happy to review. I'll be happy to discuss the details with you. But as I told you, sir.
Did Peter Strzok brief you on it?
No.
Did Lisa Page brief you on it?
No.
Did Sally Moyer brief you on it?
Now, let me explain the process, if I may.
Well, did Tricia Anderson brief you on it?
No FBI personnel briefed me on it. The process, sir, is that these FISA applications and renewals first come up through the FBI chain of command. They are sworn under oath by a career federal agent. I'm not the affiant.
But you signed it.
I'll explain the process to you.
Did you thoroughly review it, yes or no?
I want to explain the process.
He wouldn't admit to whether or not he read the FISA report that started this whole thing based on Strzok, based on Page, based on the Democratic operatives. That's our Deputy Attorney General. Aren't we proud of him? Representative Matt Gaetz laying the smackdown on him. We'll play that back one more time. But did you read it? Did you do it? Yes or no? And if he did, he would have answered yes. Let's go to Tom in Nampa with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Kevin. Looked up the Maryland state gun laws yesterday. It's what they call a may-issue state. They may issue you a carry permit if you show good and substantiated reasons why you should be allowed to carry a firearm to defend yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the policy of the newspaper there is about. I'll bet you they think that nobody should have a gun. They may want to rethink their policy because this guy's been involved with them since 2012, long before President Trump even thought about running. So, might be interesting if you called up the Statesman and find out what their policy is with their reporters. I was like, they want to, and they've already started using this. We need to ban guns. This is look up, get online, punch up Maryland state gun laws.
They're some of the toughest in the country.
Yeah, and I don't think they're working. That's just my opinion, mind. And I'm from Idaho, so is there any place in this country you can't get dope fairly easily? And there's no place in this country that doesn't have laws against, heroin, cocaine, this stuff. I don't think the law is working, fellas. We may want to try a different approach.
Right, less dope, more guns.
Well, it would, bring a certain level of civility back into society, I believe.
Huh. Well, exactly.
Do you remember that an armed society is a polite society? That's from like the 1840s,
right?
When dueling was still legal in a lot of places. Maybe that's something we should revisit. Bring dueling back as a social custom. See if that returns civility to society.
You would have a lot less tough guys and tough gals on the highway and on email.
Oh, yeah. Every 25 miles, have an extra section of asphalt off to the side. The guy, you say, okay, fine. You and me over there on the asphalt, 10 page, have a little computer-generated voice. You hit the button that says, gentlemen, raise pistols. And my count, start walking.
Right. Exactly.
No more road rage.
Road rage is scary. I've covered a couple of cases that have been fatal, and it is, look, what was it, yesterday, and this guy in this motorcycle, he doesn't even look. He just weaves in and out, other guys in the big trucks. And, look, I'm all for people driving what they want, but it's crazy. I don't know. You ever see that, the first Mel Gibson movie, The Road Warrior?
Yeah, Mad Max.
Right, Mad Max. That's how people are driving. It's a Mad Max world.
The thing that gets me is all these guys are on the left are spouting, we're going to have a revolution. I'm saying, dude, how are you going to do that? You don't have any guns. It's like, revolution going to be real short, fellas, and I don't think you're going to win. Oh, of course, they're not really clear thinkers anyway, so
no,
which explains why they're on the left. Good grief. Anyway, Kevin, yeah, anybody wants to look up, it's really easy to Google Maryland gun laws, and you have to get permission for a private sale. You have to get permission. You can't have a private sale. Like, if you want to sell me that hunting rifle because you want to get a new one or something like that, it has to go through a federally licensed federal firearms dealer. So I'm like, okay.
Wow, with all those safeguards,
either.
With all those safeguards, I don't know how this guy committed those crimes.
I'll bet you the newspaper had this is a gun-free zone sign up too, and I don't think their sign's working very well.
Apparently. Tom, thank you for the call.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Traffic and weather together. And Kevin Miller in the morning here at 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Coming up next, much more of the conversation involving guns and safety. Your thoughts on that, number one. Number two, though, yesterday was a very contentious day, and I don't think we've ever had anybody get under the skin of an executive branch official like the Republicans in the House Judiciary Committee did yesterday.
Did you read it or did you not read it?
I'll be happy to review. I'll be happy to discuss the details with you. But as I told you,
Well,
sir,
did Peter Strzok brief you on it?
No.
Did Lisa Page brief you on it?
No.
Did Sally Moyer brief you on it?
Now, let me explain the process, if I may.
Well, did Tricia Anderson brief you on it?
No FBI personnel briefed me on it. The process, sir, is that these FISA applications and renewals first come up through the FBI chain of command. They are sworn under oath by a career federal agent. I'm not the affiant.
But you signed it.
I'll explain the process to you.
Did you thoroughly review it, yes or
I
no?
want to explain the process.
Did you sign it or not, sir? Yes or no? We'll talk about it next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Hours after it happened, you
While
do your
it's
job.
happening, covering it.
They put out that damn paper, as they themselves said.
I couldn't be prouder. I mean, that's what we do.
In the face of the spin, as you put it, in the face of those who within hours of it were trying to put some kind of political bent. And you mentioned Sean Hannity, and Brian, I don't want to pour salt in the wound. You said you don't want to hear it, but I'm going to play it so people know what you were talking about.
I've been saying now for days that something horrible is going to happen because of the rhetoric. Really, Maxine, you want people to call your friends, get in their faces, and Obama said that too. Get in their faces. Call them out. Call your friends. Get protesters. Follow them into restaurants and shopping malls and wherever else, she said.
Well, you know what, John? Sean Hannity doesn't have the ability to work at a community newspaper. He doesn't have the talent for it. He doesn't have the temerity for it. And his display on television shows you exactly what he's made of. He couldn't make it in a community journalism newsroom. So he can kiss my big fat, ask me no more questions, I'll tell you no more lies. It angers me.
I can understand why. I can understand why, given how much time he devotes to questioning journalism and questioning facts that are reported every day, and for him to go on within the hours after that.
Yeah, and to say he's been warning for some time about the escalating rhetoric.
Right.
Right. I mean, this
You're
is
right,
somebody
John.
who has been excusing escalating rhetoric that we have seen.
Well, there you go. Now they're attacking our friend Sean Hannity for saying he's been warning it. The rhetoric has been going up. And it has to stop. The insanity has to stop. Now, many people will believe that the insanity has to stop because we have too many guns in America. You talk to most law enforcement professionals, they will say it's a mental illness situation. And I don't know if your life has ever been threatened. It's not a fun thing when your life has been threatened, when people that have been convicted of crimes threaten to kill you and do so graphically. And what means of protection do you have? Most of the people that I've found, most of the people that have had their lives threatened, they don't take it seriously. Now, one doesn't know whether or not this horrific crime could have been stopped. One doesn't know that. And in a society today, as we, the big question is, why does God let bad things happen to good people? Whether it's illness, whether it's accidents, whether it's tragedy, whether it's being a victim. Ours is not to reason why. Just like with a lot of things. You want to live longer, you can increase the probability of doing that by exercising and eating good foods. You want to have a better paying job, you work harder, you get additional skills, and you may not get a better paying job, you may have to move, but you increase the probability of success. In America today, if you want to be safe, and look, no one in the Treasure Valley, no one in the state of Idaho will say this, but I'm saying this to you. If you want to be safe, you carry. And in Idaho, as we talked about earlier, thanks to our great friends, Greg Pruitt at the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance, and condolences to Greg Pruitt and his family for the loss of his great brother, who was such a wonderful young man, spoke at the first debate of the season, his brother Eric. And if it weren't for Greg Pruitt and those folks at the ISAA, we wouldn't be able to conceal and carry. And in states like Maryland and Illinois, where they want to take away your right to protect yourself and your family, we can live in fear, or we can choose to protect ourselves. It is an individual's choice whether or not you conceal and carry. And it's like everything else. When someone threatened my life, I went out and bought a gun. And the guys at the gun store, and this is when Brady and the assault weapons ban was going on. And I'm a big believer, and the police officers and firearms instructors will tell you, If you pull your gun, you better be ready to shoot it. Don't sit there and wave it at someone, or it will be used against you and you'll be a victim. And when you have people that have issues with you, you've got to be aware of it. Oh, no, that blank will never happen. And I can remember walking around. Look, I'd like to think of myself as the modern-day Chuck Norris. But sadly, I'm more like the Peter Sellers character, Inspector Clouseau, on those classic Pink Panther movies. I'd be afraid I'd shoot myself in the foot, but I carried my gun with me. I had it under my pillow at night just because of some serious concerns. And when people say, I'm going to kill you, and they post it, you need to document that. Notify the police, notify law enforcement, and take precautions. Because if someone has enough, whether it's guts or derangement to do that, you have to take them seriously. Max in Garden City with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, Kevin. You know, I wonder if the Maxine Waters people of this world, I wonder if they understand that by them ramping up the rhetoric, by them encouraging intimidation, all they're doing is driving people to buy guns. When you destabilize a social situation, doesn't that send more people like you and me over to the gun store?
If you're smart.
I mean, I would love to see Maxine Waters get in with a bunch of people and start really rousting somebody. I mean, get really right to the edge of physicality and have somebody pull a gun on her just to let her know.
Well, no, you can't say that because that could be construed as a threat.
I can say that I wish she would find herself intimidated severely by individuals who are known to be packing. How does that sound?
That sounds a little better.
But understand, people like Maxine Waters live in their own little bubble. The problem with being a career politician, or in her case, a career idiot, okay? You are so isolated from the real people. She doesn't go shopping at the local Safeway. She doesn't know what people think. She doesn't care because she's in her own little bubble. We have the same problem right here in Boise with the mayor. People in their little bubbles because they spent too many years in public office. I'm just going to say two words, and thank you much. The words are term limits. That's all. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Max. Pro-Life joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pro-Life.
Good morning. You know, you were making the comment that bad things happen to good people, and why does God allow that to happen? Well, the reason God allows that to happen is because there's a great judgment after all this is over. If there was immediate punishment, immediate reward for what we did, then the great judgment wouldn't be effective. It wouldn't we wouldn't harden ourselves into the position that our hearts really are. And so this whole lifetime, what we do is we make choices without immediate punishment or reward, and then we harden ourselves into being selfish, unselfish, and then we get to live together according to those things after the great judgment. So God is allowing us to determine really who we are. And so that's the greatness of the earth, is that there's all this free will, free agency.
Sure, but when you have people that have lost loved ones, whether it's to a senseless shooting, whether it's to an accident, it becomes a crisis of faith for a lot of folks.
It is. But if you have faith, that everything will, there will be a great, definite, eternal justice. Then you can go on. But if you don't, then nothing makes any sense to you. And then you get hateful and revengeful. You can't do that, or else you wind up in the wrong place after the great judgment. So we just have to go on having faith in Jesus Christ.
I would agree.
So God bless you.
And your thoughts for people that have lost someone or someone recently?
Well, they need to just know that those people live continue to live, and they still have free agency. They still have the ability to choose up until the Great Judgment, and everyone will meet together again. And when we take a thought position that's hateful, wrong, selfish, right now, if we don't stop it really quickly, that can follow us clear into eternity. And so all those people, they need to be thankful that we have an earth like this where people can come here and we don't have to seek revenge. I mean, people need to be punished. I believe in capital punishment for doing bad things, for murdering people, but that it's just that way. We just have to be right with Jesus Christ. We have to be right with His gospel. So the people that lose people, they need to really think: is there a God? Why am I here on earth? What are we doing here? If we don't do that, we all have to do that on a daily basis. Because if we don't, we live for the immediate, and then we just do something selfish, which gets us in trouble.
Right.
Anyway.
It comes down to that old saying, "Be not afraid, I go before you always. Come follow me."
Yep. That's who we got to follow. Oh, Kevin, we love your show.
We love you, Pro-Life.
God bless you.
God bless you. Take care.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye-bye. Liberal Steve joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Liberal Steve.
Boy, I'm sure glad that major man hug was out of the way. Come on. Americans are happy. We're good people. We're hard workers. We got good politicians. We got bad politicians. We got crooks. We got good guys. And I'm not with pro-life, definitely. I'm not going to murder somebody because they tortured and murdered somebody else. You know, their Jesus even told me that, thou shalt not kill. Just because they killed doesn't mean I can kill them. That's still murder. No different than ripping a child from the womb. No difference at all. So anyway, I'm just saying America's good people, and we're going to stay fired up, and we're going to, and like those reporters and those people, I feel just terrible for them. But why die ashamed, Miller? Why? No man has to die ashamed. Well, he might die. He might not get his gun out fast enough, but you can go to your local gun store and buy a little Derringer or pack a little .38 with 9 rounds in it that you can put right in your front pocket and return fire. I mean, people, it's just sickening that people die from people shooting at them and can't shoot back because they're too, I'm not going to say it. You have the right. It's in the Constitution. If you want to lose it, don't use it. You stay fired up, Miller, and you can use that quote. If you want to lose your gun, don't use your gun.
By the way, Terry says, hello, Buttercup.
Oh, you know, Terry, he's got a serious problem the way he talks about homosexuality all the time and lipstick and fingernail polish. I think he's got a hang-up, but he's probably way too old now to see a shrink and decide which lifestyle he really wants to live. You stay fired up, Miller. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Liberal Steve, never at a loss for words. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Your thoughts on what it's going to take to keep everyone safe. To me, it's very simple. It's incumbent upon ourselves. At work, at home, at school, everywhere. You have churches that have security forces now. They don't really publicize it for obvious reasons because they want to make sure that the flock, the congregation, aren't victims. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Daniel in Nampa. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How you doing, sir?
Not bad, and you?
I'm not doing bad. I just want to say, can someone tell Liberal Steve that thou shalt not murder, not thou shalt not kill? There's a huge difference. One of those pet peeves, it's like people calling this a democracy instead of a republic. It's annoying.
I think you just did.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel, anything else?
Nope, that's it, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you. You as well. Phone number is 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Democrat Senator Kristen Gillibrand says it's time for ICE to go.
Now, what are you going to do with your party if you do come into a majority and you have a significant number, or at least an influence, of people who have that kind of a position?
Yeah. Well, I agree with it. I don't think ICE today is working as intended.
Well, you think you should get rid of the agency?
I believe that it has become a deportation force, and I think you should separate the criminal justice from the immigration issues, and I think you should
separate the criminal justice from the immigration issues? So you're going to decriminalize immigration? What other country would do this? This is how desperate Kristen Gillibrand and others have become, because you have the Bernies taking over the Democratic Party, the Bernie Sanders crew. I'm a Bernie Sanders. I know that was a horrible Bernie Sanders. Hopefully you're laughing at me. But abolish ICE. That would make sense. And replace it with what? The Chamber of Commerce? The Welcoming Committee? What do they call that? The Welcome Wagon? Hi, everybody. I used to be a Border Patrol agent. I used to stuff and cuff, sometimes catch and release, and throw you back on your duff. But now it's the Welcome Wagon. Hi, welcome to America. Here's your check for housing. Here's your check for food. Here's your check for medical, all brought to you by the American taxpayer. Now, you talk about pandering for a vote. My gosh. More on that in a minute. Traffic and weather together. Let's get you to work safely and on time.
Rick Gabbard.
Kevin Miller in the morning here. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So here you have a senator, not a socialist, saying it's time to get rid of ICE. Shall we continue?
imagine ICE under a new agency with a very different mission and take those two missions out. And so we believe that we should protect families that need our help, and that is not what ICE is doing today, and that's why I believe you should get rid of it, start over, reimagine it, and build something that actually works.
All right, Senator.
What would that be? Again, here you have a Democratic senator advocating getting rid of ICE, and again, I assume replacing ICE with the welcome wagon. Man. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. As we get ready for another beautiful weekend in the Treasure Valley, don't forget our friend Glenn Beck is next. Dave Ramsey, Sean Hannity, and Lars Larson. Of course, over the weekend, Dave Petzel will give you all your money news. And our friends from DMB as well with the gardening tips. Love when Debbie gives us the tips as well. But back to the state of America today. And for once, I got to say, I agree with Liberal Steve. We are doing well. We are having record economic growth. We are making a difference. But the people on the other side of the line of scrimmage, we'll just call them the libs, they are sore losers. And they are, if nothing else, committed to keeping the 8 years that were the most radical since the 60s in our nation's history. And so what can we do? We can work, we can pray, we can share, we can write on social media when they don't censor us. But here you have another example of the cuckoo brigade, where you have a sitting senator, the second sitting senator, saying it's time to abolish immigration's customs enforcement. We're breaking up families. Well, yes, you commit a crime, you're broken up. Well, it's inhumane. Yes, it's inhumane when someone robs a bank because they can't make their rent or their mortgage payment, or they commit a crime. But they commit a crime. And that the United States is so squishy when it comes to self-love of its own great nation, of nationalism, is distressing. And more people agreed with Donald J. Trump than Hillary, than crooked Hillary, or whoever else you want to say, than anyone else. That's the bottom line. And that's what we're fighting for, making America great again. Great job, Ray and Maya. Appreciate you, as always. We so thank everyone who listened. Tell a friend. Thank you again for listening. God bless, and keep the faith. Fox News next. 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning.